Ladies and gentlemen, happy Sunday and welcome back to the channel. Today, I'll be reacting to more Gladys Knight and the Pips. This particular reaction request is courtesy of Russell. So thank you, as always, Russell, for your generous support of the channel. And I, for one, have been really loving the Gladys Knight journey so far. I feel like every song we have heard has been super enjoyable to listen to and has sort of afforded me a new perspective on the subgenre of Motown. I feel like their approach to songwriting and performance shows a lot of maturity. They're not really opting for as much flash, I guess you can put it. And not that there's anything inherently wrong with flashiness, but I feel like when they are trying to convey an emotion through their patience, through their almost like self-restraint, they are able to properly build that emotion over time without throwing too much at the listener all at once. It also helps that they have phenomenal voices and the smooth soul just oozes out. It's all a really enjoyable time. So I'm super excited to check this out today. And yeah, without further ado, let's just jump into it. I was not expecting that guitar to just cut through. That is such a bright sound.
When you find the one and only,
Look at their
it's
smiles,
like
pristine.
a needle in the hay. Every one of us is looking for love.
Saying it all.
So when love comes along, you
The
can't
follow
let
up with
it
the guitar.
get away. When you're someone's one and only,
Oh,
and
those
he
are the
says
moments.
that he's nothing without you.
Like the strings all simmer up, the
When
notes
at
bubble, and then
last, you know
huge cloud of
where
voice.
you belong, then you're one of the chosen few. Yes, you're one of the chosen few. Well, I found my one and only, like the lone, lonesome river finds the sea.
Wow, wow,
And
wow.
I can't believe how lucky I was
Oh, the guitar,
that
dude.
you and your love were waiting around for me. You're my darling one and only. I've got no more looking left to do. With a love as sweet as I know that I'm the one of the chosen few.
Oh my god. Dude, there's so much to this track. I guess we're closer to the end, so I'll save my thoughts for when we get there, but I'm really loving this.
That I'm the one of the chosen few. Yes, I'm one of the chosen few.
Nice. Dude, I really think that the guitar being in this was like such a smart decision, because you accentuate all of these moments with this piercing tone. And Guitar is one of those instruments, like, given that it's a string instrument, will have a lot of similarity with the human voice. And I have always loved those kind of moments in songs where the human voice blends in and is mixed in to the electric guitar sustained note, or vice versa. And on occasion, too, they'll do like the kind of dual guitar thing, but be playing different roles. One is the actual lead guitar, and the other is the vocals. I feel like the balance here was definitely skewed more towards Gladys Knight and co singing the main melody and being that, well, beautiful like lead voice in the front with also that like choir behind her. That is already so nourishing for my ears. The electric guitar on top making those moments for Gladys even grander than they otherwise would have been. Such a smart call. I will say that I think if the tone of the guitar was a little bit softer, it could have blended into the mix a bit better, but that just might be the reason they made it as bright as they did. They want that to kind of stick out. I also really loved the arrangement of the strings in this track. You'll always hear me talking about like strings instruments, the sound kind of soaring above and simmering in the middle. I really love, this is just like my own way of like, there's many ways in which I consume music, but one of the ways I listen to music and understand it is through the movement of melody. And I kind of like imagine the visual of where the strings are in the room and wherever they go, whether it's with pitch or timbre or rhythm, let's say. I kind of try to follow that, and my mind like projects the movement of the melody. And if I become familiar with the melody, well, then I don't have to do any projection. I'll just recall where it goes. And I always love the moments where the strings are here, they're kind of up and down, a little bit fluttery like a butterfly, and then just very smoothly reach those high highs. In the way that this song was composed as well, it wasn't only the strings that were up there, the backing vocals too. The pips are also blending into that string sound, which, adds to the discussion of the electric guitar being piercing through all of that too. Because you'd imagine like, oh, if you have many more instruments to kind of shore up each other's, let's say, holes in the mix, maybe then the electric guitar wouldn't be able to cut through, but precisely the opposite happens here. And I like the amount that the guitar was actually used in this track. It wasn't overbearing by any means. It didn't become a full-on guitar-led ballad, even though it likely could in a live setting. So I feel like it's very, as a guitarist myself, it's very clear that in this track, even though the guitar is that like spotlight feature, like the novelty, let's say, in the track, they still didn't just hand over the song fully. It was very purposeful, which I like. I guess the last thing I was going to talk about with this song is just the meaning. I think it's clear that she's just talking about pure, true love and feeling very lucky to find that needle in the, well, normally people say haystack, but she just says hey. So when you find that person, count your lucky stars, hold on to them, be as loving to them as you possibly can, because what's the alternative? Not being as loving? I think that's leaving a lot on the table. This next song is Hero, which is a cover. I haven't ever heard the original, though. I don't know Lee Greenwood.
It must have been cold there in my shadow to never have sunlight on your face. You've been content to let me shine.
Beautiful.
You always walked a step behind. I was the one.
That bass note.
You always walked
So satisfying. Oh.
I was the one with all the glory. While you were the one with all the strength.
You hear how the volume is slowly creeped up.
Only a face without a name. I never once heard you complain.
So many textures. Oh.
Did you ever know that you're my hero? And everything I'd like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. With you as the wind beneath my wings.
I love that in Gladys's voice there is this like built-in huskiness to it. I don't know if I brought that up the first time. I feel like that that adjective occurred to me at some point in the past listening to Gladys Knight, but I mean it as a compliment. I like that her voice feels very full and super breathy. It's as if I'm in the same room with her as she's kind of singing some of these syllables. And the way that breathiness kind of sits into the mix, it is very, that kind of sound, it's very good at blending in with the likes of strings, with the likes of the backing vocals, which is why it's really fun listening to, like paying the most focus on to Gladys's voice, because at any given moment, she will like blend into the crowd of the atmosphere of this song. That's the analogy that I'm working with here. And at some point she will like raise her hand, sing from the rooftops, belt, do whatever she needs to do in terms of styling to have her voice be heard. And she kind of oscillates, flows in and out of those different states. It also is worth considering that the dynamics of this song are growing and things are getting louder and more complex when it comes to texture, but she still sits atop all of that as well. So I only ever have good things to say when I hear the human voice in its rawness, and I feel like Gladys gives that.
With you as the wind beneath my wings. It might have appeared
Threw that
to
note
go
out there.
unnoticed, but I've got it all right here in my heart. Oh, to know
That slide up.
I know the truth, oh baby. Oh, and I would be nothing
Oh, sing it.
without you.
Come on. Oh my god. That whole pre-chorus run up into this moment is awesome.
And everything I like to be. I can fly higher than an eagle. With you as the wind
The keys.
beneath my wings. Oh, for you are the wind beneath.
Listen to that. That is literally like the wind pulling you up 3 stories.
For you are the wind.
Once again.
For you are the wind beneath my wings, oh baby.
Oh, that's such a good song. I love that. This song was definitely like, it's interesting because, again, referencing what I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it's not flashy in the typical sense, but it doesn't mean it doesn't get as intense or as explosive in some moments. They dole out the intensity, the emotion builds, and by the time we hit this final chorus, you hear Gladys giving it her all. So that's why I say, like, that run up into the chorus, it's almost, and this is not an actual real statement, but it almost is a bit better than the chorus itself, because what they say, like, sometimes the anticipation is better than the actual payoff. In that moment, I was like feeling that. I'm like, oh my God, the chorus is already so good and I love it. But that pre-chorus, her building into it and then like kind of like revving herself up, that's almost more exciting. And by the time you hit the chorus, it's like, oh, because I kind of expect that moment to be big. It doesn't rattle me as much. I still am hearing this for the first time, but I can reasonably predict that we are going to get that punch, which is interesting, because if I can predict the punch is coming, then it better be really, really hard for it to like really rock me. This punch this time didn't really rock me because I was expecting it. The run up rocked me. God, did I say rock me like 3 times in a row there? Yeah, it's these little things. And I used to do this on occasion in these reactions where I would draw out the dynamics in a song. So we felt that kind of trough maybe after the first chorus where things got quiet again, more reflective and emotional. And then the ramping started, that we accelerated towards the end, peaked right at that chorus, and slowly things subsided. It's always fun to draw out those little charts. I encourage you, if you're into songwriting or just understanding how a song impacts you, if you're a visual learner too, this will go a long way. Write it out on a piece of paper. I guess I will quickly show you an example of what I mean. Let's say this is your, oh God, is it going to be focusing? This is your chart, your XY axis. And now I'm just going to draw out on the Y axis the intensity. And then the X axis will be the time, the runtime in the song. And so towards the beginning, this range will be in the Y-axis from 0 to 100. Towards the beginning, we are around like a 15. We move up to the first chorus, maybe to about 50%. Things come back down, maybe to 25, and then they ramp all the way up again, and then slowly kind of descend. This would be a version of what I'm talking about here, where we travel from, I guess on your screen, from left to right over the course of the song. Why is it not focusing? You guys know what I mean, right? Yeah. So this peak, this run up, that's what I loved the most there. I'll circle it. This is the last time I draw on my post-it note during these videos. Let's check out the final song of the day, Neither One of Us. Harps.
We're not gonna make it.
Wow, bright texture in the right.
And it's gotten to the point where we just can't fake it.
Wow, that soul strum from the electric guitar in your left headphone, it just shows up once. It's not even like a strumming pattern. It's just one literal strum.
Just can't fake it.
Right there. Right there.
Ooh, for some ungodly reason, we just won't let it die.
Oh, I love that voicing.
I guess neither one of us.
Great chord there.
We just won't let it die.
That one.
I guess neither one of us wants to be the first to say
strings all around here. Gladys just over the top. It's all so emotional.
And I guess you must be wondering that same thing too. So we go on together, living a life, because neither one of us wants to be the first to say goodbye.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Here we go. Run it up, run it up.
every time I find the nerve, every time I find the nerve to say I'm leaving. Oh, memories, those old memories get in my way.
Loving the bass in this.
Lord knows it's only me. Oh, He knows it's only me that I'm deceiving. When it comes to saying goodbye, that's a simple word that I just cannot say. There can be no way.
Oh god, there's so much in that I love.
When it comes to saying goodbye.
So the brightness in these keys, but also listen to the way that they descend chromatically. Do 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 do. Those are like the 5. I mean, it's not perfectly chromatic. There are more jumps than just half steps there. But that is a very time-tested descending like progression. But it's interesting to hear that going down while it's still like a very bright sound.
That's a simple word that I just cannot say.
And there's this little moment where her voice kind of like cuts out into like a bit of a cry. I just love those moments where you hear the rawness. So somewhere in the middle of her delivery of say. The harp there leading into her getting bigger. Choice.
No. So we just go on hurting and pretending and convincing ourselves to give it just one more try, because neither one of us wants to be the first to say it. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say it. Neither one of us wants to be the first to say farewell, my
the chills.
love, goodbye.
Oh my god, the strings in all these tracks is just stellar. I feel like this, I don't know what the feeling is called exactly, like the description I would use for the feeling that I get across all of these songs, especially related to the strings, is ethereal. It feels like okay, how can I describe this? It feels like the way that those pitches sound played through the strings, it is all so soft. Even you can kind of notice part of that feeling in the harp when that kind of every single string gets like strummed through. It all ascends. it's like this, I don't know, it doesn't, okay. There's a difference between like the run up, if you're dragging like the C4 note all the way up to C5, for you to like take each of the deliberate steps up on the way up, or if it's kind of like in a legato fashion, sliding all the way up. So in the harp, when you notice that's a string instrument, it's not a slide up, it's a plucking of each of the strings on the way up, and that has its own ethereal feel. And then the strings are often very legato and they slide all the way up, and both of those textures in isolation from one another sound great. When they happen at the same time, it's an even crazier set of feelings. I don't know if there was a moment where all of it happened at once, because there was a lot that was overwhelming at some points in this track that all sounded good, but had me lose a little bit of focus on that particular part of the discussion. But when you heard the harp, it sounded amazing. When you heard the strings, of course, they sounded amazing. And I love that with the background string instruments, like I've been mentioning, they blend well with the pips themselves on all of those oohs and all of those ahs. They manage to like find the almost like median note within the chords that the strings are producing. And I don't know, that's like kind of the melodic movement you can track if you're paying attention to the backing vocals. There was something else interesting I was going to say. If it comes to me, I'll let you know. But there's another comment too about this song, neither one of us wanting to say goodbye first because it's all too painful. My girlfriend and I will watch this show, 90 Day Fiancé. I don't know how many of you guys know about that show, but a lot of drama, a lot of interesting stuff. It's all about relationships between people of different cultures. And obviously, in this show, there's going to be a lot of distance, long distance between the couples, because some of them are in different countries, different time zones, and whenever they get to meet, it's such a heartwarming thing. And when they part, it is such a heartbreaking thing. And oftentimes, those scenes will be some of the saddest in the show, where the two people who truly love each other, they have to say goodbye, and they may not necessarily know when the next time is that they'll be able to see each other, whether it's about the health of their relationship or the status of their visas. There's just a lot of unknown and fear associated with that departure. So neither one of us want to like affirm that this moment is a goodbye, and it may be a goodbye for a long time, if not forever. So I feel like when there is that unknown aspect, you want to get as much out of the time that you have together and as much out of the moment of the goodbye. And you just don't want to say goodbye. How many times have you gone to the airport and you just couldn't let go of that hug? You know what I mean? It's all very relatable in that sense. And, you know, I just feel like this idea of goodbye, it can show up in a lot of places in our life. It's just a matter of like, if we take it that way or not. A different thread of thought that kind of leads me to is like the way we leave conversations with people, because we never know when a single conversation is going to be our last conversation, just for a number of reasons, right? If we can leave every conversation with okay, there's this like idea of a campground where you want to leave somebody better than you found them. Well, if it comes to conversation, I hope that you come away with the conversation with me a bit chipper, a bit happier, like glad that you had the convo. It's a version of what I hope happens to you guys when I give these reactions. I hope that your day is just a little bit better. And, you know, even if we have to say goodbye at the end of it and may not know exactly when the next video is coming out, although I do upload pretty frequently. So, you know, it can matter when you make that little, have that little departure between the two of us. But yeah, I can just ramble on and on about random things at this point. I love the way that the song felt super beautiful throughout, and Gladys's performance here, I think, was the most emotional out of the three tracks today. Definitely in terms of like her pushing for the higher pitches in her range, and allowing her voice to kind of break down at different places. She shows a lot of skill and heart. It's all you can really ask for. But I super enjoyed the songs today, as I predicted up front. I hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. If you'd like, again, to request one yourself, the link is down below. But thank you all for watching. I hope your day is better after this video. Take care of yourselves, my friends, and peace.